sometimes the real risk comes in when you actually don't do something. It's not in the ask of what we do, it's what we don't do. And so I've been in the room plenty of times with leadership when there's been an opportunity to modernize, bring in tools that could have transformed the way a company worked, but the decision ultimately stalls out. And so maybe the business case wasn't strong enough at that point in time. Maybe there wasn't enough urgency to drive it, but the assumption just kind of becomes we can just make it work with what we've had. And in those moments, you don't realize that standing still is still a decision, and that in and of itself comes with a cost. And that can either be agent burnout, rising case volumes, customer frustration, all of those things, they don't go away. They compound on each other. And the longer you wait, the harder and more expensive it becomes to fix. So, Judy, this is where I would actually pose the question of you when we kind of think about that state of inaction ultimately at the end of the day. With your background being a support leader yourself, what are your thoughts on this? What does that really look like? What does that really ultimately cost? And, as a support leader, can you afford to wait?
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, the interesting thing about my journey with SupportLogic, I was a customer before I worked here. And I know exactly what SupportLogic did for my business. The thing is, I would challenge support leaders, you have to be bold. You have to make the call, right? You're going to, what is it? Analysis paralysis. If you just sit and think and look for absolutely the best of breed of any tool, you're going to spend way too long where you could be solving the problem quickly. Once you see the data and the way that, for instance, SupportLogic presents back to you, the risk that you have in not taking care of the customers, not reducing escalations, not taking care of the staff, because you can call out those signals and find the signals that you would never see in normal conversation or by doing the traditional 5 or 10% of cases that you maybe QA. If you're looking at 100% of your cases all of the time, you are in a position to absolutely become a rocket ship when it comes to how you are running your business, how you are engaging with your peers in the other lines of business. And you're getting ahead of customer retention and loyalty issues without a doubt. We already talked about the competitive advantage that you have. If you can take escalations as an example in double digits and lower those to 1% or less, and you can do that in the course of weeks or a month or two, that leaves you, as Max said, you can take resources and realign them. You can actually accelerate your transformation on other projects because now you have time free in your manager base that they can help and work on some of these other transformation efforts that you have in place.